Good morning, beautiful people. Today I'm coming to you from my living room and I'm showing you this little quilt that I finished late last night. I was up until 12:30 in the morning finishing it because I was like, I'm getting it done. This is the prepper or upcycled quilt, the little quilt as you go. I finally finished it. I put it on my design wall. I saw I had enough pieces to finish it, and that was it because it wasn't going to be real big anyway. It was just going to be a little quilt for my sofa, a little sofa quilt or lap quilt, whatever you want to call it. Quilt as you go. And I made a boo-boo on it, and that's why I was like, I didn't touch it because I was so frustrated with my with my error. I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So initially, I wanted these big blocks to be staggered. And I will show you what happened and how they ended up in rows. So this is the back, and this is Vermont. This right here is Vermont flannel from the Vermont Flannel Company, and it is very soft. It's expensive. It's like $18, $19 a yard, but you get what you pay for. Very high quality. The rest of this are flannel shirts that I cut up because I didn't want the whole thing to be tons and tons of those little bitty blocks. And I probably could have made those little bitty blocks bigger, but you know, it just didn't happen. There's Orange and Jobless. Say hi, Simba. Anywho, you can't look anywhere without seeing a pussycat around here. So this is the other side. Now, do you see how these are not the same colors? This one should be this color because it's on this flannel. This flannel was supposed to be this lighter blue. But when it must have been late at night when I was doing it, and this can happen. So, you get tired, your eyes are tired, whatever, and you start going, and then before you know it, you've got a boo-boo. And how do you fix it? Well, I'm not undoing all this. No. So this is what I did. I lined them up the best I could, and I just carried on. And you know what? I think it looks pretty darn cute. The front, it works. I think it works. This is for my brother, and he approves. So I approve. It's so heavy. I will tell you that I'm glad that I mixed it up and did these big blocks. If you are doing a quilt like this, which is just, I cut up denim. I ran out of this dark denim. So here, when I cut the pieces, can you see the stitches? These are little squares that I've sewn together to make a block that fits because I was running out of this dark denim. So, and I have a gazillion more. If I had made this entire quilt of all these little bitty blocks, OMG, this thing it would weigh a ton. It's so heavy right now. There's no batting. It's just denim and flannel. And it's going to be a very warm and cozy sofa quilt, as my sister calls it, for in the winter. Or like if you're like me and sitting right next to the AC grate. The AC return or vent, whatever you want to call it. I think it turned out cute. This is a quilt as you go. Again, super simple. You're just cutting a big block, leaving that 1 inch or 1.5 inches on around. You put the smaller block inside. You stitch it up. You fold it over a couple times and sew it, and you're done. It's so simple, y'all. Give it a go. If you're a first-time quilter, you don't have time for hand quilting, you don't want to send it off to the long armor, you don't want to machine quilt it, whatever, this is a great option for you. Super simple. You have something to show for your work. This has no batting in it. You can use batting with it. You can fill this with, I've seen it anything from batting, flannel, fiber fill you can shove up under there, different things. Make it your own. There are no rules with quilting. I don't think there's any rules. I just make it up as I go most of the time. But I really do like this method a lot. The only thing the tip that I would say is make sure you're leaving yourself enough room to roll over. You need a solid inch, maybe inch and a quarter. Always give yourself, if you have fabric to spare, give yourself an extra little bit, because when you're short, it gets tight. Let me see if I can find, I think over here, you can see where I got tight on this little bit. But this is an upcycled quilt, right? Because I use the flannel shirts and I use the jeans. So the reason why I wanted the flannel to roll over is because the denim is just too thick to roll over, right? So you want to do it with the thinner fabric, which is definitely the flannel here. It's not perfect by any means. My little lines don't always line up. They do here and there, but like this one's pretty good. Where my little crisscrosses in the center. And then, did I already talk about the corners? The corners, how I finished this off was, when I got to the corner, I was way back here. I stopped, and then I'm going to just show you with this. So if this were like flat, right? So I folded it in like that, and then folded it, and then folded it again to end up with the nice mitered edge. And that's what you're going to want to do to have a more finished look. And you can sew it down, this little line here to the tip, if you want. I didn't really feel the need. It feels pretty stable in there. I might later, I don't know. But this is just my little experimental upcycled lap quilt for my sofa, which I'm sure the cats are going to love and hair it all up in a minute. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comment section how much space do you leave when you do your quilt as you go? Do you leave an inch and a quarter? Are you able to do it like with a half an inch? I would love to know. I appreciate all your likes, shares, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And you guys have a beautiful day. I'm super tired. Excuse my fumbling around words today. Like I said, I was up until late, and I'm so tired. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.